We're live on YouTube.
All right, all right. All right.
Smooth 98.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, Rotus too. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Welcome if you just joined us, of course. This is Business Express, and this morning, Rotus is here with us, as always, to take us through conversations. We're talking about something very interesting this morning, but I would let Rotus, just walk us through it. Good morning, Rotus. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Kayode. Good morning to you. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers. Good to be with you on a Tuesday.
We talk about Tuesdays being the most productive days of the week, but starting with productivity, you can check out the live stream. It's on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos and leave a comment there. Also, you can send us WhatsApp messages. Please send them to 0809-444-0981. So, Rotus, we're talking about link bridges today.
Yes.
Give us an insight.
Yeah, the Lekki toll operators have said that the Lekki-Ikoyi Bridge is set to reopen on April the 1st. And
on April Fool's Day.
Yes, so the Lekki, what's the name of that company? The Lekki Concession Company. Lekki,
that's the one, LCC.
Yeah, the LCC. They announced that the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge will resume operations on the 1st of April. But there's going to be a 2-week, they're calling it a 2-week toll-free holiday.
Which is already toll-free at the moment.
They won't start paying until the 15th, April the 15th. They released a statement, I believe, yesterday, announcing this. Managing Director Yomi Omomu Wasan, if I hope I pronounced that correctly. The company has the support of key stakeholders, including associations, community leaders, professional bodies, as well as the Lagos state government. They've been losing money. Kayode. So that's what's happening. They're reopening April 1st.
Okay, but then again, why now? Why at this time? A lot of people think that because it's an election year, because the bridge, it's not been there for so long, the roads are considerably better, there would not be a need for the toll again. So why are they doing this now?
Well, they need the money. They've been losing money. It's a toll. It was set up to collect money for people to ply that particular route. And the fact is they've been losing money, had to open at some point. There's still the issues around the whole NSARS thing. That's why it was, closed down, but it's not as bad as the other one. But it's money, Kayode. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Speaking of the other one that you mentioned, so what about the other toll on Zumba and Badiwe? I mean,
that one is that's a tough one. That one, there's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no. They've been talking about it, but there's no announcement yet as to when that one will reopen. That's still up in the air. But I assume if they're going to be reopening Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge in April, they probably got plans to open the other one on Zumba
around the same time.
Well, maybe they would have announced it by now. Maybe later on, they'll give an announcement with respect to when that one will open, because there's still the whole issue around the NSARS protests, the people that died, and everything that happened around that. It's still a very, very tragic memory for a lot of people. So that one, I think, might take their time for that.
All right. Now, speaking of Zumba that we just mentioned, now I understand that you're advocating for more songs about infrastructure.
Yeah. So think about this, right? Ricardo Banks' Zumba and Badiwe song. You've heard it, right?
Yes, of course. Everyone's heard it.
It's a beautiful song. When did it come out? December of last year, I think.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. It made me think, how many songs do we have about either cities or streets? So I went all the way back to Allen Avenue by, is it Weird MC? That was
Weird MC, yes. That was so long ago.
96. That came out in
Allen Avenue. Allen Avenue.
Exactly. Then you've got Oju Elegba by Wizkid.
Yeah.
Which is, and Oju Elegba is an ecosystem for sports on its own because of its proximity to the stadium. Lots of sports stores there. You can buy workout equipment, footballs, basketballs, gloves, whatever you want.
Whatever it is.
Right. And then you've got Zumba and Badiwe by Ricardo Banks. when you think about the most famous songs about infrastructure or cities, New York by Frank Sinatra, or Welcome to Atlanta by Jermaine Dupri, or I think Freddie Mercury. Did Freddie Mercury have a song about San Francisco? I can't remember, but Viva Las Vegas by Elvis Presley.
Okay.
These songs, they help with tourism. They boost the popularity of now Ozumba
regions. That's true.
Right. So we need more. The thing is, though, for you to have more songs, you got to have more infrastructure, and you got to have less traffic. You got to have a whole lot of other things. But it would help. It would help because outside of that, not really sure about the popularity of other event areas that could warrant that. But
Zumba is a popular place.
By the way, it helps us more than we think.
Yeah, there is a lot of traffic on that, and a lot of cars ply that road, and it leads to so many other places. Plus, NSARS in a way somewhat has made that that road famous. So it's good that
exactly. So that's kind of for Ricardo Banks, it helps that he brought out that song because Ozumba stretches. It's not just the NSARS area; it stretches all the way, to I think Bonny Camp. That particular street. So, it's something to think about as far as, again, Allen Avenue, Ojuelegba, Ozumba, and by the way, you need, who knows, maybe our artists can write more stuff about areas that can be increased in their popularity, which can maybe lead to more visits or something.
All right. Away from that, let's talk about oil and gas. So I understand right now that there's like a force majeure that's declared by Shell and, Eni recently. So basically, what's this about? What happened?
Yeah, so when you declare force majeure, you're saying that events outside of your control are preventing you from fulfilling a contractual obligation. So look, Eni, it's a Italian oil and gas company. Shell, of course, Dutch. They've been here for a while. Shell's force majeure has been in effect since, I think, March the 3rd. I think it has to do with the Forcados pipeline in the Niger Delta. Eni, they have a pipeline in Bielsa, which suffered some explosion or some kind of vandalism or some kind of attack. It's coming at the worst time when Nigeria is already not producing as much oil as she should be, meeting up to OPEC quotas. If you wonder why Nigeria is not making more money from oil prices that are sky high, well, here you are. It's situations like this: pipeline vandalism, oil thefts. It's pretty bad. And for it to be happening now when security operatives should be more vigilant about stopping these things, it's a problem. It's a big problem for us. And there you have it. And so it's going to impact output in terms of the number of barrels that can, I think it's about estimated to be 120 or 170,000 barrels that are being impacted.
All right. But speaking of Shell still, we understand a court judgment is, halting the sale of its onshore assets. So what's the deal with this?
Yeah, so I think there was a community in, I think it's called the Ejalawa community in Owerri, I believe. There was apparently an oil spill that impacted something called a flow line that led to an oil spill in a particular community, I think in Owerri. Okay. So essentially, the Ejalawa community in Southern River State, actually, they sued Shell over what I think they said was an abandoned flow line that began spilling a large volume of crude, causing damage to that area. So essentially, Shell was ordered to pay 800 billion naira to clean it up.
800 billion to clean it up.
Yeah, so it was a huge amount that was awarded by a federal judge back in, I think, November of 2020. And so Shell is trying to get rid of its onshore shallow water assets due to vandalism, right? They want to move to more deep water assets, which is further out to sea. So they're not being allowed to complete their sale. The sale has been put on hold because they want this issue to be addressed first before they can divest and let go of those assets. I think it was a 3-judge panel that ordered Shell to put the money in an account first. Let's put that 800 billion in an account. Let's sort this out before you can sell off any of your assets. So that's also a bit of a sticking point for Shell as we speak.
Okay, real quick, though, before we wrap up this side of the show, let's talk about the blackout. I mean, so there was a nationwide blackout yesterday. We're hearing that the power grids have collapsed in some states, Lagos, Enugu, you know. So what's...
Kayode, whenever these things happen, to me, I don't really tell the difference. So I don't, whenever
there's no light regardless.
Yeah, so it's always, I've always had trouble trying to gauge when the grid collapses because I'm forever hearing generators, but it was pretty bad yesterday. I think Echo Disco sent out a notice to customers saying that around 10:40 a.m., the national grid collapsed. I think they said it was restored by about 12 noon yesterday. But look, the situation has been pretty bad. The Minister of Power has come out to say that it's because of low hydration, low content in dams that are not able to generate as much electricity. Gencos, the generator, the value chain, the generating companies generate energy, then the
discos, distribute,
pass it on to you and I. They are saying that, it's 1.6 trillion naira since 2013. So the liquidity gap is causing them not to be able to generate as much, power. Gas prices, they're talking about a whole number of other issues. Transmission Company of Nigeria says that's not true. Everybody's just pointing fingers at everybody. Meanwhile, it's just a really terrible situation. Look at what oil prices have pushed up diesel. Now it's about around 500-600 naira per liter. For any business that runs a diesel gen,
as much as 700 actually, not even just.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. So
we've got a question here from, in fact, two questions really. This one here says, Kayode, please ask Rotus to tell us about online banking. The planned ban on the online banks by the federal government. That's from Austin. And real quick, also, Ogen Ochiko is saying that there's nothing wrong with tolling, but there must be an alternative route. He also said that it's sad that the government can't solve the security issues concerning oil communities. Why can't it apply technology in solving the issues? So real quick, if you can quickly address those questions in a minute.
Yeah, the second is a good point. The tolls are fine as long as they're alternative routes. So you got to have routes. And that point has been well made. On a ban on online banking, I think he's referring to the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, closing down some agri-tech companies that were offering services online. There's no ban on online banking. You can bank online with your regular commercial banks, and that's fine. So he might be referring to, the first message might be referring to the Securities and Exchange Commission closing down some illegal agri-tech companies that were offering returns they've been saying they want to clamp down on Ponzi schemes and so on. So that's why unless there's something else that's happened, there's no ban on online banking. Although you guys should tune into Business Hub later this afternoon. So a lady was complaining on Twitter about fake alerts. She was selling something to a customer who was sending fake bank alerts and to her and taking her product, paying her. She blamed the bank, but it's really there's a lot to be discussed there. So 5:15 p.m. on Business Hub, we'll be talking with someone in the SME space about how to avoid fake alerts and whether or not banks are supposed to be responsible for that. So we'll be talking about that later this afternoon. So y'all should tune in for that 5:15 p.m. Business Hub for SMEs.
All right. Thank you so much, Rotus. Always a pleasure having you here. And I think what you were trying to refer to is federal government ordering Google, Apple to deactivate illegal online banks and also loan apps. But we'll be discussing that extensively.
Okay, that's probably what it is. Yeah, all right.
Freshly pressed today. That's at 7:30. 7 o'clock rather. Thank you so much, Rotus. You can find Rotus on Twitter. He's at RotanQuote on Twitter, and also continue the conversations there. And also keep up the conversation with us here at Smooth. It's at Smooth 91 FM Lagos. There's more to come. Right, stay with us. This is Smooth 98.1.
We see the bigger picture. Business Express on Smooth 98.1.